Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, I guess. It's 11:44 here. I want to jump on Facebook really fast and give you an update. We got some new information, and I wanted to share that with you here on a Facebook Live. Of course, we've got WCIA 3 News at noon coming up. We'll have details there, and then I think things are going to start getting active pretty quickly after the noon show as we watch things. First off, some of the changes, the Storm Prediction Center outlook for many of us has not changed. The yellow slight risk continues for areas from Bloomington to Taylorville and points to the east. Where we do see some change, though, is the enhanced risk. Look at that. It has been pulled more to the west, all the way to the state line here. And so you could base that and say, hey, maybe the trend continues to pull things just a little more to the west. The threat may be coming up just ever so slightly for us here, but we are looking at perhaps having a couple of storms out there as we go into the afternoon and evening. Let's take a look here at Storm Tracker Doppler, see if we see much. Pretty quiet here at this point. Those morning batches out of here. And when we look even at the cloud cover, for the most part, it's been pretty clear here. Now, there is a band of clouds that is starting to build on in. We'll see how that affects things. There's maybe been some attempts at some showers and storms firing along that. We'll just watch how it evolves here, but there's still been plenty of time for that instability to build on in. Earlier, Springfield looked a little darker, a little gloomier. As we look around here, now there's certainly some more higher level clouds in place. We'll jump to Champaign now. It's been nice sunny here. That sunshine now being traded with some clouds that are filling on in. And we could probably even go to Danville and see off to the west, perhaps see some of that cloud cover that's in place. So there you go, Danville. You can see here some of those cumulus clouds starting to try and pop up there. So can a storm break through that and form? That's going to be what we watch here for the next little bit. I do want to talk here our risk impacts, for lack of better words there. The risk impacts have not really changed all that much here. The hail threat, I think, still is the greatest threat. That's the one thing that has come up, certainly, with this. Tornado threat, still there. We'll watch it. I think it's pretty conditional. It'll be more localized with an individual storm. It's not a big tornado threat. The hail threat certainly is the leader here. The tornado threat secondary, wind threat even a little bit below that. And we may only get a couple of isolated storms that can break through and cause some of those problems. A lot of us probably miss out on severe weather today. A fair number of us do get thunder, lightning, and rain, though. But that severe threat still does look more isolated across our area. But a couple of storms is it. And that impact and the risk is there for that. So that's why we like to talk about things here. Let's talk about the hail size. This is where the potential risk area has come up for us. You can see here the max hail size. We've pulled that red. There could be some larger than 2-inch hailstones somewhere in this red area. And that is probably the biggest concerns here. That hail threat is isolated. If you live in this red area, not all of you are getting hail like that. But if we are looking at hail to happen in that red area, some of that hail could be larger than golf balls, perhaps up to tennis ball size. That threat does diminish, at least the risk does diminish to the south and west there. You'll see this on the news coming up in a little bit. In the meantime, we do have that risk here. We're just bringing you on digital platforms. A little quick update before noon. I do want to update you as well on the tornado risk. No real changes for the numbers for the Illinois side, but you can see that orange area has come right up to the state line. And so from west to east here, as storms move to the east, that tornado threat will come up. And so Danville, you're sitting at a 4, but you go right to the east, cross the state line, and it's at a 6 there. So you can kind of get an idea, hey, I'm closer to the 6. My threat probably a little higher than, say, out here to the west towards Decatur, even though it's in a 4. You can kind of see how that threat progresses as storms move to the east. They move into a more and more favorable environment for tornado threat. And so that's something that we will watch. There's that enhanced risk. Now, it includes a good chunk of Indiana, western Ohio, northern Kentucky there, where the greatest threat for severe weather will be. But those storms in that area have to form somewhere. And it looks like we will be the lucky recipients of getting those storms to form overhead. And hopefully we can get them off to the east pretty quickly. I'm going to bring up Future Track real quick, and we'll look at that. And then we will try and catch any questions that may exist. We'll take a peek at that. Future Track here has been saying there should already be storms forming. I think it's a little early in that, so we'll see. But the next couple of hours are key. At some point, those storms do have to fire. And what we'll see here is, notice how some of these storms look more individualized. Over the next 45 minutes to an hour, if we see some storms form like this, they're in an environment that's more favorable for individual cells. And I think they're more of a hail producer. But one or two of those somewhere may have a localized tornado threat, so we will watch that. You can see here by 3 o'clock, most of these storms are exiting. We'll watch, though. Maybe a few more isolated storms can pop up somewhere in the area. And some of our guidance is now bringing that threat a little bit later here towards Mattoon, Charleston, Effingham, Paris, with some of those individual cells. But you can see here, getting to the 5 o'clock hour, it appears that most of those storms are exiting. We'll keep an eye maybe a little bit after 5 o'clock, still on I-70, but I'll keep that line at 5 for now, and we'll see how that pans out for us. And then by 6, 7, 8, we should definitely be done with that threat, going for a clear night tonight. That's my update for you. I've got like 9 minutes till the newscast. And so if there's any questions, I'll try and answer them quickly. Again, not everyone getting storms today that are severe. A lot of us will get some rain and thunder and storms. Some of us will get maybe a severe threat. A few of us get an isolated severe threat with large to very large hail and a tornado threat. So that's kind of the key here. Some of you are probably watching thinking, I'm getting a tornado. And that's probably not the case today. Others of you saying, oh my gosh, the hail is going to be huge where I live. You have to get a storm in that environment. It's kind of like if in football, if you've got a really strong defensive team, there's a good chance they can break through the line and sack the quarterback. Does it happen every time? No, but a couple of plays, there's probably be some sacks. A couple of storms, there'll probably be some problems for us here locally. So that's my analogy of the day. The sunshine has not helped. Instability has certainly gone up. We're also seeing some divergent winds aloft, which will help with that lift. So that's what we're going to keep an eye on. Kind of looking down the line. Somebody's asking, what is the name of the weather app that calls and sends text? That's a great one here. Let me pop that up. First off, there's 2 different apps. There's our WCIA3 weather app. And let me hide that. I'll put that at the bottom of the screen here. The WCIA3 weather app, you've heard us talk about this. It's on your cell phone. It follows your location. It sends you notifications. And you can see that in the chat. Just go there and click the link to download that app. This is a free app. The other app that we have is our weather call. This is a new service which is location specific. You can put in your home address, your business address. You can put in the school district you work for. You could put in a hospital where your parents live, where your relatives live, something of that, a specific address, and it will monitor the alerts for that. And that service is $12 a year, but it's an option, an opportunity to at least offer as many different ways to have coverage as possible. Some folks maybe say, hey, I don't like cell phones. I don't want to learn them. I can't afford them. This here might be a service that we can offer that at least helps to bridge some of those gaps, to fill in some of those missing areas, because not everyone has the same level of access to things. In particular, we were thinking about weather call. We were thinking about our senior citizens, our elderly community, and folks who maybe don't have reliable internet connection. They probably have a phone. Some people may still have a landline phone. This is a really great option where we will call you if there is a tornado warning for the location you choose. You can also, in addition to that, get text and emails. If your phone is a cell phone number in there, you can get the text. My wife, she gets them. I signed her up whether she wanted to or not, and I don't think she particularly cares about it, but I know she gets those alerts, and so that's something that's good for that. Also, the emails come through, and you can get that via that way. So maybe you've got a relative living in Ohio. You think, I want to get alerts for if there's a warning coming for them. Well, you can put in their landline phone number, your cell phone, and your email in there. And that'll be a way for you to get alerts and keep tabs with them. They can keep up. So there's lots of different features for that. Okay, with that, that's not anything, some sort of demo product. Oops, sorry about that. That's my Facebook Live here. We're going to have the newscasts in about 6 minutes, so I will see you there.